3.5 today. Systems of 3 or more. So I think what I'd like to do is today we're just going to work with 3. I think I would feel better if we got really confident with those 3. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to work with systems of 3. So remember that a system of 3 simply means that we have 3 equations with 3 variables and the same solution for all. Okay? Kind of like saying if I have 3 lines all crossing each other. Right? It's where they all intersect. So, I think I want to start with the steps. So, steps to solve. Step 1. Eliminate one variable from, that's an R by the way, equations numbers 1 and 2. Okay, that's got to be your first step, is you eliminate one variable from equations 1 and 2. Step 2, eliminate the same variable from equations 2 and 3. Step 3, using the results from step 1 and step 2 eliminate, oops, helps if I spell right, a second variable. Step 4, solve the remaining equation. Step 5, plug results into the results from either step 1 or 2. 6, take this answer and answer from step 4 and plug into 1. Step 7, solve remaining. I know it sounds crazy, but once we do it, you'll be like, oh yeah, those steps make sense. Okay? So solve the remaining 8 right answer as a point. Example, it could be X, Y, Z. Okay? You're going to write your answer as a point in alphabetical order. So A, B, C, X, Y, Z. All right? So let's put these steps, once you guys get them all down, let's put these steps into practice and you'll see how it goes. Okay? It's a lot of elimination. All right? Just going to let everybody get these down real quick. Okay? Now, we did do a couple of these very basic ones back in Algebra 1. We did do them a long time ago. Not quite to the extent we're going to do them now, but we did do a couple of them back in the day. If I told you guys liked them, you'd tell me I was crazy, right? Oh, come on, liven up a little. All right. Almost good there, Tyler? Okay. I'll just scroll up a little bit. I'll start writing my examples. Okay? So, here is example number 1. Make sure you got a lot of room. Here is the system we are going to use. We have x minus y plus z equals 1. Equation number 2 is x plus y plus 3z equals negative 3. And our third equation is 2x minus y plus 2z equals 0. Okay? So, first step says to use equations 1 and 2 to eliminate a variable. Yes, so you want to eliminate the y, which makes sense, right? So what I'd like to see you do is choose the first two equations. Do I have to multiply by anything to get rid of those y's? So I'm going to write my two equations right over here. So I have x minus y plus z equals 1. And I have x plus y plus 3z equals negative 3. So let's go ahead and add these together. X plus x is 2x. My y's drop out. Z plus 3z is 4z. And 1 plus negative 3 is negative 2. Okay? Now we're going to go back and use equations 2 and 3 to eliminate the same variable. Okay? So equation 2 I'm going to write here. X plus y plus 3z equals negative 3. And do I have to multiply by anything to be able to get rid of y? So I'm going to write down equation 3, 2x minus y plus 2z equals 0. All right, adding these together. X plus 2x is 3x. Again, my y's drop out. 3z plus 2z is 5z. And negative 3 plus 0? Negative 3. Okay. So now we want to take those two results and eliminate another variable. You want to eliminate x? So if we're going to eliminate x, what do I need to multiply this one by? I'll multiply this one by 3. And what do you want to multiply this one by? Good. Negative 2. All right. So we'll start with this one. Now I'm going to write it in the middle. Okay? So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 4z is 12z. And 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Multiply my other equation by negative 2. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 5z is negative 10z. And negative 2 times negative 3, positive 6. We're going to add these together. All right, 2z equals 0. So then what does z equal? Okay. Now we said to take that result and put it back into one of the two we got from our answers, right? So which one do you want to plug it into? You want to plug it into this one? All right, so I plug it in, I get 2x plus 4 times 0 equals negative 2. 2x equals negative 2, so x equals, good. Now I'm going to take those two results and put them all the way back into the top equation. So back here in the top, I have negative 1 minus y plus 0 equals 1. Combining like terms, I have negative y minus 1 equals 1. Adding 1 to the other side, negative y equals 2, so y equals negative 2. Right? So we got the answers. Y equals negative 2. We also got that x equals negative 1 and z equals 0. How do I write this answer? Good. Negative 1, negative 2, and 0. This is not bad, right? Okay. See? Just a lot of elimination. Do another example? Okay. Example number 2. That'll make it a little bit harder, though, because I had the y's kind of all set up for you, didn't I? I think I kind of do. So here's the system this time. Let's go with x plus 4y minus 5z equals negative 7. Second equation. Let's go with 3x plus 2y plus 3z equals positive 7. And the last equation. Let's go with 2x plus y plus 5z equals 8. Alright, so let's look at this. What variable do you want to get rid of? What do you want the first variable to get rid of? What do you want it to be? Could do y's, could do x's, it's totally up to you guys. So stick with the y's. Alright, so if we're trying to get rid of the y's, using the top two, we can multiply this one by a negative 2, right? So top equation is going to stay the same. Let's say we have x plus 4y minus 5z equals negative 7. Second equation, you guys said to multiply by negative 2. So negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 2y is negative 4y. Negative 2 times 3z is negative 6z. And negative 2 times 7, negative 14. Let's add these guys together. X plus negative 6x, negative 5x. Again, our y's drop out. Negative 5z and negative 6z is negative 11z. And negative 7 plus negative 14 is negative 21. All right. So now we have to go back and get rid of the y's in two equations. Now, when I write the steps, I say you should use 2 and 3, right? Technically, you could use 1 and 3 also if you wanted to. It's just that it's easier when they're next to each other to see what you can eliminate, right? So looking at 2 and 3, what can I this time multiply the bottom equation by if I left this one the same? Negative 2, I agree. Let's multiply by negative 2 to the bottom one. Okay? So the top one is going to stay the same. I'm going to leave 3x plus 2y plus 3z equals 7. Multiplying equation 3 by negative 2. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4x. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 2 times 5z is negative 10z. And negative 2 times 8, negative 16. Let's add these guys together. 3x and negative 4x is negative. Good. Our y's drop out. 3z and negative 10z is negative. Good. 7z. Maybe. Oop, I froze. No! Alright. Ah! My computer, no! Sorry, I'm getting there. There we go. Okay. Back to where I needed to be. And 7 and negative 16? Good. Negative 9. Alright. So now we want to put these two equations together. What do you want to eliminate out of these two equations? By doing what? Yeah, negative 5. So the first one we're going to leave, right? So we have negative 5x minus 11z equals negative 21. Multiplying this one, negative 5 times negative x is positive 5x. Negative 5 times negative 7z is positive 35z. And negative 5 times negative 9 is positive 45. Let's add these together. My x's drop out. What's negative 11z plus 35z? 24z. What's negative 21 and positive 45? 24. So tell me, what does z equal? Good. So now I got positive 1. What do I do next? We're going to plug it back into one of these two. Does it matter which one? No. So I'm going to take it up into this one. So I have negative 5x minus 11 times 1 equals negative 21. Adding 11 to both sides, right? We get negative 5x equals negative 10. So what does x equal? X equals 2. Very good. Now what do I do? Yeah, you're going to take your x and your z, plug them back into one of the originals. Very first one? All right. In the first one, we had x, which is 2, plus 4y, minus 5z. So minus 5 times 1 equals negative 7. 2 and negative 5 is a total of negative 3, right? All right, so I have 4y minus 3 equals negative 7. Add 3 to the other side. 4y equals negative 4. So what does y equal? Good. All right, so how do I write my answer? Good. You guys vaguely remember doing this back in Algebra 1? No. Okay. So, how do you feel about this? You only have 4 problems for homework. It's not so bad? Okay. So I want to talk about one of the problems you have for homework, because it's a little bit different. So I'm going to throw it up here really quickly. I want to talk about number 12. Number 12 looks like this in your homework. I'm going to get it started for you. You're going to finish it. Okay? So in number 12, it says we have A plus B plus C equals negative 3. Second equation. The second equation is 3B minus C equals 4. And the third equation is 2A minus B minus 2C equals negative 5. All right. So what do you notice about equation 2 up there? There's no A. So really, we can say that we already have an equation that doesn't have an A in it. Okay? So we can actually use equations 1 and 3, these two together, and get a second equation without an A. Okay? So yeah, if you want to times the top one by negative 2, let's start with that. Whoops, I was trying to change that color. There we go. Times the top one by negative 2. We're going to get negative 2a, negative 2b, negative 2c equals positive 6. The third equation then I'm just going to write down. 2a minus b minus 2c equals negative 5. Adding these together, my a's drop out. Negative 3b. Keep going. Good. Good. So this is an equation that doesn't have an a in it. You also have this equation that doesn't have an a in it. Yeah, well, we can actually take those two equations then and eliminate another variable. You could eliminate b by just adding them together, right? Okay, you could, if you wanted to multiply by a negative 4, eliminate c, but it's up to you, okay? Exactly. The negative 3 and the 3 is already on b, so it's actually set up for you to keep going, right? Okay, I just wanted to point that out. So for homework, you have 10, 12, 14, and 16. That's it. No. Yeah, you should get negative 5c equals 5, right? Okay. All right, so as you get started on this, I want to walk around and help, okay? I do want to tell you that none of your answers are fractions. So if you get a fraction, you have something in your math you got to go back and look at, okay? No fractional answers.